Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 2nd of July. And, well, it's under 70. Time for jackets. Yeah, I'm that weenie guy. Anyway, let's see. Janice Poole's sister-in-law is back at Claps, as is Trenton's grandfather. So we have a lot of people back in Asheboro, hopefully getting better. We're closing in on the end of our study of the Apostles' Creed, and then we'll finish up the summer with The Chosen, which we will not be able to broadcast the Bible study then because of copyright issues. So that's just the way things go, but okay. Hope everybody's doing great today. My little buddy is getting ready to have his morning nap. Oops. There we go. There he is. Sound asleep. Yes, and we had him weighed yesterday, and at not quite 7 months, he's 50 pounds. So, oh boy, he's going to be a big one. That's good. I cannot lie. I like big dogs. Oh my. Okay. Boop. Daily text. Tuesday, July 2nd, Judges 5:31. O Lord, may your friends be like the sun as it rises in its might. In other words, may the followers of God be numerous and visible. Pretty simple, right? Hard to do, but simple, as are most things with God. Matthew 5:14-16. You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. The same way, let your light shine before others. Whether we want to or not, we are very visible in the world. Our witness is our very existence. And people forget that, okay? They forget that everything they do and say is under scrutiny. People are watching. They're evaluating. And I think rightly judging. They need to. We always need to be considering our actions and our speech. Mixed bag, folks. I'm no better than you are. I don't always do a great job. Hopefully, like me, that makes you kind of sad. All right. It just is. All right. So, A Year with C.S. Lewis. More from the Screw Tape Letters, one of my favorites. This one's entitled, I'm as Good as You Are. Screw Tape reveals the devilish genius behind getting humans to assert, I'm as good as you are. The first and most obvious advantage is that you thus induce him to enthrone at the center of his life a good, solid, resounding lie. I don't mean merely that his statement is false. In fact, that he is no more equal to everyone he meets in kindness, honesty, and good sense than in height or waist measurement. I mean that he does not believe it himself. No man who says, I'm as good as you, believes it. He would not say it if he did. The St. Bernard never says it to the toy dog, nor the scholar to the dunce, nor the employable to the bum, nor the pretty woman to the plain. The claim to equality outside the strictly political field is made only by those who feel themselves in some way inferior. What it expresses is precisely the itching, smarting, worthing awareness of an inferiority which the patient refuses to accept and therefore resents. Yes, and therefore resents every kind of superiority in others, denigrates it, wishes its annihilation. Presently, he suspects every mere difference of being a claim to superiority. No one must be different from himself in voice, clothes, manners, recreations, choice of food. Here is someone who speaks English rather more clearly and euphoniously than I. It must be a vile upstage, la-di-da affection. Here's a fellow who says he doesn't like hot dogs, thinks himself too good for them, no doubt. Here's a man who hasn't turned on the jukebox. He must be one of those highbrows and is doing it to show off. If they were the right sort of chap, they'd be like me. There's no business to being different. It's undemocratic. Okay, so this reveals a base insecurity in people. Rather than accepting others as being a unique creation of God, we seek to destroy because of fear that they might be better than us. It's a manifestation of original sin. People that are insecure and attention seeking are disruptive, cause divisions, and do not benefit by their actions anybody. They appear to be looking out for everybody else, but what they're really looking out for is themselves. They do not want to be dismissed. They want to be seen and seen as being better. Early as a young pastor, one of my elders came to me and said, Pastor Keith, you have a problem. Oh, boy, thanks. I thought you were on my side. So what is it? Well, you treat everybody the same. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of people in this church that know they're better than everybody else. I've never forgotten that, because that has played out time and time again. The superiority of others is an idol, okay? Or the perception of being superior, or being afraid that others are better. No, ultimately, everybody wants to be treated as special. But this flies in the face of, I want to be like everybody else. Okay. But we also want to be different, singled out for something. So we've constantly got this war going on inside of us that only God can fix by revealing the true leveler. We're all sinners in need of a savior. Right? It's a hard reality. Okay. Just because I sin differently than you doesn't make me better or less than you. It really makes me equal to you. And if I'm busy pointing out how everybody else isn't as good as me, um, I'm diminishing them. I'm diminishing everybody, including myself. I should be rejoicing and applauding people for being different, for being unique, and looking to see what their gifts are in relationship to the world around us, and not exploiting them or beating them down, but trying to showcase them uh, by supporting and applauding them for their specific gifts and talents. What happens is we don't understand something, and when we don't understand something, our fear makes us seek to diminish it. I'm not going to say destroy it, because very few of us are that bad. All right. But a few people do try to destroy others to make themselves feel and look better to the people around them. Okay. All right. So, Aslan, but will you be there? This is from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. After a meal, which was taken in the open air on the hilltop, for the sun had got strong by now and dried the grass, they were busy for a while taking the pavilion down and packing things up. Before 2 o'clock, they were on the march and set off in a northeasterly direction, walking at an easy pace, for they had not far to go. During the first part of the journey, Aslan explained to Peter his plan of campaign. As soon as she has finished her business in these parts, he said, the witch and her crew will most certainly fall back to her house and prepare for a siege. You may not be able to cut her off or prevent her from reaching it. He went on to outline 2 plans of battle, one for fighting the witch and her people in the wood, and another for assaulting her castle. And all the time he was advising Peter how to conduct the operations, saying things like, you must put your centaurs in such a place, or you must post scouts to see that she doesn't do so and so. Till at last Peter said, but you will be there yourself, Aslan. I can give you no promise of that, answered the lion, and he continued giving Peter his instructions. Okay, Peter has no experience in warfare. He has no concept, other than what's being explained to him, of what he's supposed to do. This is inciting fear and trepidation in Peter, because he feels as though he can't do it without Aslan there directing. And what Aslan is trying to do is develop in Peter his particular gifts. If we rely on other people to constantly hold us up, we will never develop into the people that we need to be. Okay? So, here are the questions. What must Peter be feeling to hear that not only must he lead a battle, he might be leading it on his own? Well, he's scared to death. Okay. When we tackle something new, we're frightened. What if I mess up? They're all depending on me. What happens if I don't come through? If I'm not up to the challenge? We often think that, especially in an untried situation. We're afraid of criticism. We're afraid of people abandoning us. We're just plain afraid. All right. And that's what's going on with Peter. Have you ever felt pushed into a responsibility for which you did not feel ready? All the time. Gee. Especially when you're new at it. Okay. Or in a new situation, utilizing your same skills. What if what worked in the past does not work here? What if they don't like my style of doing it? Okay. Um, I find when I first come to a church, if I crack a joke, especially in a sermon, um, what if they don't laugh? What if they don't think it's funny? Um, I will have blown one of my best illustrations to get them to think. Okay. And I find that it usually takes a while for people to go, wait a minute, that was funny. It's church. Can I laugh in church? Am I supposed to? Is is what he says in the sermon that's funny um, something I can go ahead and react to like I would if I were just talking to him out, you know, in the fellowship hall, out in public, or in his office? Um, After a while, they get used to it. Dad jokes help. They're so stupid that you can't help but smile at least. All right. So, but there's always a little trepidation. Am I going to be effective? Okay. Think about your own life. When you start a new job, when you start a new project, when you learn a new hobby, there's always that, oh gosh, this is going to be a huge learning curve. What if I can't? I've invested all this time, energy, and money in it. What if it doesn't work out? What if it looks stupid or I can't? You know, I mean, at the risk of blowing a good sermon illustration today, which I'm rolling around in my head as I get ready for Sunday, there was a guy given a new task and a promotion, and he wasn't sure he was up to it. So he asked his superior, you know, how do I succeed at this? By making good decisions. Well, how do I know I'm making good decisions? From experience. How do I gain experience? By making bad decisions. Okay. Um, and that's true. Okay. We don't like making bad decisions. They're great teachers, but we often look at it as, well, that was wasted. Is it really? Okay. Will you do it again? If it's humiliating enough, you sure won't. But if we exhibit some guidelines for it, okay, particularly in our Christian witness, that what would Jesus do is not just a catchphrase. How does Jesus want me to behave? What's the matter, little buddy? I'll be done in a minute. I'm almost there. Okay. Have you ever felt pushed into a responsibility for which you did not feel ready? We've established all the time. If so, what was the outcome? Well, it was a mixed bag, wasn't it? It was either great, which means you probably weren't challenged enough. You got through it, but you learned a lot. You're a little crispy around the edges, which means you're on the right track. Or, wow, that didn't work at all. So, what does that tell you? I need to learn some more. Okay. And you have to go ask for help. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. All right. With God's help, we can get there, folks. All right. Pilgrim's Prayer. I am not in control. I'm not in a hurry. I walk in faith and hope. I greet everyone with peace, and I bring back only what God gives me. Amen. Oh, your jokes and sermons help me a lot. Thank you, Miss Gail. Always good to get the positive reinforcement. The thing of it is jokes are used so that during the week, when you're considering you're ruminating on what went on in the sermon, the jokes are points to they're hooks, all right, to, oh yeah, okay, that was, and you chuckle, but then you start thinking about what does that have to do with what he was talking about. Secret to my sermons. Okay. All right. Everybody have a great day.